Welcome to my VOP Story. I'm Ken Norton, director of the Discover Bible School here at the Voice of Prophecy. We have a special guest joining us today who will be sharing how the Voice of Prophecy has had a very meaningful impact in her life, and her name is Oneita Turner. Oneita, thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to hear your story.
Thank you for asking me, Ken.
Let's begin, Oneita, just by telling us a little bit about yourself and then tell us your story.
Okay, well, I live in Collegedale, Tennessee. I worked at Southern Adventist University for like 28 years, and semi-retired. I have 2 children that are grown. My husband, the electrician, still works at Southern.
Wonderful.
And this is home for us. We've lived here 35 years now.
Wonderful. Well, I heard part of your story while visiting Collegedale several months ago, and someone had heard the full story, and they came up to me and said, "You've got to talk to Oneita Turner. She has the neatest story about how the Voice of Prophecy really impacted her life as a kid and led her to become a Seventh-day Adventist." So please tell us the story.
Okay, well, I was born and raised in Oklahoma, and I have 3 brothers and a sister, myself, and we didn't attend church on a regular basis. If you ask, we would say we're Baptists, but we didn't go to church. So I wasn't familiar with the Bible at all. And one day, a lady came to our house looking for our neighbor who had requested Bible studies, and the neighbor was not home. So she asked my mom, seeing us 5 kids there, she said, "Well, would you like to enroll your kids in Bible lessons? It's summertime, they're not studying." And my mom enrolled all 5 of us in the Voice of Prophecy children's. It's called Bible Explorer, I believe.
Okay.
And so we started the lessons. Well, my 3 brothers, they were through with it after a few lessons. They were too busy.
Yes.
So my sister, and we were told if we finished the lessons, we'd get a free book. So my sister and I both love to read, so we filled out all 5 lessons and completed them so we would get 5 books instead of 2. I said, I hope the Lord forgives us for that. But and I still have those books today.
Wow.
So that was the first I had been able. My sister had a little Bible, so we used it to do our lessons. And then I had no more contact. I wasn't aware that it was a Seventh-day Adventist church, but I did learn about the Seventh-day Sabbath. I remember asking one Baptist preacher about it. He said, "Oh, that doesn't mean anything anymore. We go to church on Sunday now." And then he walked away. So I didn't hear anything else, about the seventh day, and that was always in my heart. I, in fact, clipped some of the little articles from my lessons and I still have them, that told me about that God loved me and that he had made the Sabbath for us, but I had no support for that.
Yes.
And then 5 years later, my dad bought some property from a Seventh-day Adventist gentleman. And after about 2 years, his wife gave me a Bible enrollment card. And I immediately recognized the address, Voice of Prophecy, Box 55, 90053.
Yes.
So I was very excited because I knew I wanted to study the Bible more. And so then I was a teenager, so I took 4 lessons over the next year. And then I decided to go attend the Adventist church. I was a little bit hesitant because I had visited some of the other churches with friends or family that, had yelling and rolling on the floor and different. And I thought, what do these people do on Saturday? I have no idea.
So just a second. So you were going to go by yourself, or was this something you had siblings that were, okay. And about how old were you at the time?
I was 15.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, wait, I was 16 because I have my driver's license. That's right.
So you were determined, I'm going to go find a Seventh-day Adventist church and just do it on your own. That's amazing.
And unfortunately, the first couple of times I drove to the church, I sat outside, could hear music, and then I'd go to the public library and pick out and get a book and go home.
Okay.
Because, I did not know what to expect. But I think about the third time I did that, I went into the church. And as I say, they just loved me into the church right then. Of course, I was the only one probably under 50 when I walked in as a 16-year-old. And I've been here ever since.
Wow.
I told the pastor I wanted to be baptized. And he said, "Oh, we have to have some studies before we can baptize you."
You're like,
said,
I've been
"Well,
through
okay."
them. I've been through this set and this set and this. Wow.
So he asked for permission to come to my house and talk to me and my mom. And of course, when he asked the questions, I knew all the text. I knew all the basic beliefs. He said, "I guess you are ready for baptism." So
That's wonderful.
I was and our little church there in Seminole did not have a baptistry. So we had to travel to another church, Shawnee, for my baptism. And none of my family attended.
Okay.
My mom said later, "Well, we just thought that was a phase you were going through and you'd get over it." So I had no support there. And then one of the ladies from the church offered to pick me up and take me to church because our family only had one car at the time. And I couldn't, with three brothers and a sister, I didn't always have access to it. So this lady who came by my house every Sabbath would pick me up, take me to church, and then bring me home.
Wow.
So, I don't know, I'm just thankful that it's like God saw me who, nobody else knew I was there. I didn't know there was an Adventist church. It was just, to me, it's still a miracle that I learned about the truth and accepted it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the first time when the lady came to your door, or looking for your neighbor, how old were you at that time?
I was 8 years old.
8 years old. Wow. Yeah. And you were determined to do the lessons, and you did them. If I'm remembering correctly, you said you did them for your siblings. So that I'm thinking of the person that told me, and they said when you told them the story that you did it so you could get the books. You really wanted those books. So, and you still have them today.
I do still have the books today.
So
we didn't have that many books in our home, and
sure.
My sister and I both loved reading. So
the rest of your family, did they ever become Seventh-day Adventists?
Well, my sister joined the church at one time, but was only in the church probably 2-3 years.
Okay.
But to me, she didn't have the foundation. She didn't study, the Bible. When the preacher asked her a few questions, they baptized her, and she didn't really have deep Bible studies. I don't think she had the good foundation. Mm-hmm. And my mother also joined the church at one time, and she only attended about 2 years.
Okay.
So, but it's to me, it's sad. I mean, sure. I was all excited. When I first joined the church and I shared so much with my family, then you were told, well, we don't, they didn't appreciate it, let's say.
Yes.
So unfortunately, I couldn't really share too much with them.
Yes.
But my dad told me once, well, if you take the Bible, yes, Saturday Sabbath.
Okay.
Well, what else do you take,
Yeah. Sure.
So and then he really knew the truth, yes.
From that point then, after the 16 years old, going to church, then talk to us about what happened after that point. What direction did you take?
Okay, when I finished high school, an Adventist man was visiting from Portland, Oregon, United Medical Labs. I don't know if you've heard of that. It was owned by an Adventist, and I worked out there for 2 years and went to school.
Okay.
And then when I came back home to Oklahoma, a pastor asked me if I would like to go down to Southwestern Adventist College just to visit. So he took me down for one of the visitation days. And I really wanted to go to school there. But my parents thought, well, if you stay in Oklahoma, because I had a heart condition, I was on rehab, and the state would pay for my education. So they didn't understand why I would want to go to a school in Texas where I would have to pay tuition.
Okay.
And so I went down there. A sweet little lady in the church gave me a couple $100 to get me started. And I went down there one summer in 1971, and I met this man called Larry Turner. Met him in June that summer, and we got married in December.
Wow. Awesome. And so you stayed through Southwestern and finished school there?
Well, I didn't, because neither of us had financial assistance.
Okay.
I worked that first summer and took 2 classes. And then, of course, he was enrolled. He was a junior at the time in college. So I worked full time so he could finish his education. And
Wonderful.
years later, I was able to finish my education after we moved here at an adult degree program.
Wonderful.
But
Well,
yeah,
it's been neat
but
because
the
I
Lord-
know,
Yeah.
sorry, I know our
Go ahead.
families have crossed paths over the years, and you know, it's always just been with your kids about the same age as me, and you know, just remembering, I always had such great memories of the strong spiritual Turner family. You know, it was always great to come to your houses, and I never knew at that time, you know, it's not till now and working for the Voice of Prophecy, and then as someone shared that with me, I was like, really? I mean, I've known them for so long and never knew that, you know, it was something that now I'm very passionate about at the Voice of Prophecy with the Bible School, and thought I had no idea that Oneita Turner
Right.
came an Adventist
Right.
through that.
Yes, after Larry graduated from Southwestern, then he worked for a short time for an aviation company, and then he went to Blue Mountain Academy to teach for 4 years, and that's where we met your family.
Yes.
And we were there for 4 years, and then we went back to Oklahoma, and have always been active in the church.
Wonderful.
I'm thankful for that. You know,
Yes.
I don't know, it's just like the Lord saw a soul that he knew would accept him.
That's beautiful.
And it's just amazing to me that, you know, somebody would come to our house and then offer us that,
Yes.
and then I could accept it.
Wonderful. Oneita, this is a question I ask, you know, as we do these interviews, and just
Yes.
anything that's encouraging. What is an encouraging word you could give to church members who feel like, you know, I just maybe don't see the importance of, you know, of sharing literature or giving other people an opportunity? And I know that sounds funny, but I've met a lot that they're just very uncomfortable. Like, they're like, well, that's just not for me. I go to church and I listen to the sermon, I pay my tithe, I strive to be a good Seventh-day Adventist, but the whole world of sharing the message with others just seems foreign to some. And so I'd like to ask, what kind of encouragement would you give to someone who you think is reluctant to do that?
It doesn't take much just to hand someone a card. You never know what the outcome of that will be. You know, if it's a Bible enrollment, to invite them to do that.
Yes.
I'm a little hesitant myself. I was talking to a lady in our church, and when I told her my story, she was doing Bible studies with prisoners.
Okay.
And so I've been doing that for the last 7 years.
Wonderful.
We have 3 different amazing facts. I don't think Voice of Prophecy is one of them, but we have those that I'm correspond with prisoners, because she said most people don't even want to do correspondence. They don't think it helps or it works, that people accept it. And I said, well, that's the only way. I think if someone had come to my house and asked to have Bible studies, I probably would have said, no, thank you. You know, but then if it just through the mail, you answer the questions, you send it in, and I would ask questions at the bottom of my lessons a lot of times. Because through my high school years, I had questions, and the dear lady that graded my papers was so helpful. Because like I was on the basketball team until I became an Adventist, because our games are on Friday night.
Yes.
And I said, you know, well, I've got to quit. I want to quit the team because I can't play on Friday night. And she was encouraging for that.
Okay.
And, you know, that because I got baptized the summer between my junior and senior years. And so I won't say I missed out, but
Yes.
I chose not to participate in the basketball. I didn't go on the senior class trip. I didn't go to the senior prom. But I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything, because I think I had the Lord.
Yes.
And that was more important. And I I think I shared my story with my schoolmates too, to let them know why, the choices I made, and they were respectful of that, which I appreciated.
Yes, wonderful.
But
And Oneita, as you've mentioned about doing lessons with prisoners. I haven't shared this publicly very much because we're just kind of rolling it out here at Voice of Prophecy, but we've just started a program for people to be able to be volunteer graders for not only prisoners, but people from all around this country who, for the Voice of Prophecy, we receive 160 Bible study requests a week into our office.
Oh, wonderful.
And we cannot keep up. We can't keep up with them. And so we've just started a program a few weeks ago of having church members who are willing to grade lessons. And it's exciting because about half of the requests we get are prisoners. And I really appreciate what you've said, because so many people will say, does correspondence really work? Do they really, do people really get to know God in a deep way? And can they become converted through Bible studies? And the answer is absolutely yes. And you are a living example that yes, that can happen. And not only that, we get testimonies all the time from prisoners and from others who write back to us and say, thank you so much. I visited a local Seventh-day Adventist church after doing the studies, the same thing, and they've fallen in love with Jesus. And that's what we're here for at the Voice of Prophecy, and specifically the Bible School. Yeah.
So maybe the ministry you're starting now with people grading, for those that aren't comfortable going out maybe and asking people, that would be a great way they could have a ministry.
Yes.
Because these prisoners ask questions, and it causes me to do deeper Bible study too, to answer some of their questions. So it keeps us in the Bible.
You're exactly right, because I have these two taglines in my mind. One of them is win a soul from your couch. Okay, I mean, it is possible. You can, just grading the lessons and mailing it back. And the other one is for the price of a large pizza, you can help someone to meet Jesus. I mean, for paying the postage back and forth for a student. So yes, there is so much that we can do, and we're excited about having others join us in this path of reaching people just like Oneita Turner.
Right. I think that's why I like the correspondence for myself, even though I was very young. It gave me extra time to go to the Bible and look up a lot of text to verify what I was reading. So I had time to think about it and pray about it. And the Lord just impressed me, what I was reading was the truth.
Yes.
And then I could accept it. So.
Wonderful. It's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Oneita, today. It's really, really special. And may the Lord bless you and your family. And thank you again for your witness for Him.
Thank you so much for asking for me.
This has been my VOP story. And thanks for watching. And thank you for your support for the Voice of Prophecy. Your prayers and support make these stories possible. Do you have a story about how the Voice of Prophecy has impacted your life? If so, please share with us by going to myvopstory.com. And what you share could inspire others to know Jesus and to faithfully let others know that He loves them, and then they will turn around and share that news with others as well. May God bless you and your families. We'll see you next time.